Sheridan, and as always I am here to talk to you all about running. So today we're at Morton Stadium in Dublin, a different environment for a session. Hopefully we're allowed to be here. I haven't actually asked anyone for permission, but I have heard that the track is open to the public. It's Saturday afternoon / evening. It's actually about 5 o'clock, so we're going to get started shortly. It's going to be an 800 meter specific session. If you've seen my last video on the race, that was 1 week ago today. So my next race is 1 week from today, and that's a 1500 meter race. But 10 days after that, I have an 800 meter session race. So I had a 1500 session during the week of 8 times 400 of 60 seconds. I average about 61 and a half. So I think I'm in shape to run close to 3:45. Obviously, we will see. But so I have that in a week's time, and then as I said, shortly after that I have an 800. So this is an 800 meter specific session, and what I'm going to do here is try to get a good race stimulus so that I can get fitter and that I can work on that anaerobic and lactate buffering capacity and get those systems firing. But the idea of the session is to sharpen up, but also to not absolutely kill me. You might have seen my session a few weeks ago where I did 3 sets of 3 times 300, and I think it was a bit too much. So what I've tried to do this week in preparation for next week's race is to keep a decent base, but the mileage will only just touch about 40 by tomorrow, which will be the end of the week. And that's okay, because we're in the middle of the summer now. The priority is speed and speed endurance, and obviously keeping on top of the aerobic base, but I've tried to keep the volume low so that I can prioritize the intensity. So on that note, the session today is 2 sets of 400 at 800 meter first lap pace, so hopefully about 53 seconds, a 90-second break, and then a 200 at about the same pace, to be honest, or whatever I can kind of hang on to. And there's 10 minutes between sets. So the idea, as I said, is to work on race pace, to try to feel smooth while running at fast paces, but also, as I said, to work on that lactate buffering capacity and to get used to running through pain, really. And it's about as simple as that. So I'm going to go now. I've done my 15-minute warm-up. I'm going to do my stretches, drills and strides, then I'm going to get into it. So look, as I always say, you can get all my training on Strava at Patrick Sheridan. Also, please give me a follow at Patrick the Runner 97 on Instagram, because I show a lot of my things there. I'm starting to show things there which I don't show on YouTube. So I'll always still do the YouTube channel, or at least I want to continue to do it for as long as I'm running. So that will keep on continuing. I'm going to try to get the videos out every 7 to 10 days, but give me a follow on Instagram there too, because I'm starting to show more there, so I would appreciate that. Also, if you have any questions, as always, put them in the comment section below. Let me know how you think I'm getting on, how you think the session goes. Give the video a like, press that subscribe button if you haven't tuned in already, and I'll get after it here. So wish me luck, catch y'all soon. Alright, so that's us back here at the Mary Peters track. Believe it or not, got thrown off the track about 2 minutes after I was talking, so not ideal. Wasn't the best place, to say the least. The nearest track from there, as far as I was aware, was here, because I did ask about available tracks in Dublin and I couldn't see anything online. Asked the man who threw me off the track, he didn't really seem to know. And yeah, so I've travelled about 100 miles here to the Mary Peters track. We were in Offaly for Noah's race, and now we have stopped off to Dublin hoping to get the track session there. Didn't happen, so had to come here. Look, I suppose that's just what I'm all about, really, without trying to sound too cliche or anything. I just like getting stuff done. So this session, as I've already spoken about, so I don't need to go into it again, is what I wanted to do today, and it's what I'm gonna do. If I'm thrown off the track here, that would be really not ideal, but hopefully that won't happen and we'll get this done. So look, gonna get stuck into it now. Gonna get some strides done. I've done the stretches and drills there. I just did a mile warm-up because I'd already done a warm-up. So yeah, I did drive 100 miles, but I don't really want to do a 2-mile warm-up again because I don't want to do too many miles, and the legs do feel fresh enough. So look, things like this are unideal. I feel a wee bit fed up of traveling, but that's just the way things go sometimes, and especially when you're running and you're going to different things, you do have to get used to traveling. So look, gonna attack the session. I'm actually feeling pretty decent, so let's see how we go. This first 400 hopefully will be done in about 53, and yeah, let's just see what the legs have. Did 2 sets of 400, 200. First one was 53.3. First 200 was 25.9. Second 400, I stopped a good second after, I'd say. I had a 54.2 in the watch. I'll let you know down below what it actually was. I'd say it was 53 something. Felt pretty quick. And then legs were dead, but we got a 26.3. So I mean, they're all quicker than 800 pace, even quicker than 800 first lap pace. After not a brutal week of training, but a decent bit of intensity and a fairly decent bit of volume. I'll probably do about 45 miles for the week, so very good week. I think I got the balance right between the intensity and not doing too much junk mileage at this stage, because if I'm doing too many runs 7-8 mile easy, it's not really going to make a difference for my next race, and it's just going to tire me for the work that actually matters in this point of the season. The easy running and the threshold stuff plays a massive part in the winter, and you need to make sure you maintain that base, but you need to do less of that as the year goes on, in my opinion. I think that's what I've learned. But look, proof will be in the pudding, as I say. Let's see what I can do for this 1500 next week. But that was a really good session. I feel like I got the balance right. I couldn't really do another one of those without falling off a cliff, I think. So I don't need to be taking myself to the well, as I say, every session. So that was really good work. Definitely got a good bit out of that. But now I'll recover, go again for a session on Monday, and then taper down for the race Saturday. So look, thanks for tuning in. As I said before, get me on Instagram at PatrickRunner97. Leave your questions and comments in the comment section below. Get me on Strava at Patrick Sheridan. As always, yeah, I'll get back to you with any questions or comments, and catch you all soon. Next race is 1500 meters. That'll be the next video, and I'll see you all then.